Welcome to Salesforce CR Matrix video session 159. So basically in today's video, we will just understand the difference between all the different kind of map charts which we have. So under map, we have three kind of subcharts. That is, maps. We have three kind of subcharts. That is, one is map, simple map, one is the bubble map, and one is the geo map. So we will understand the difference. When I was going through each of the subcharts, I'm quite sure you identify the difference, but we will just have one complete revision and walk through it because more or less the properties are similar. It's just the difference between the visualization. So very quickly, let me go to Analytics Studio. So firstly, let me open the formatting options under under map chart. Then we have the formatting options under bubble map, and finally the formatting options under geo. Now, if you see over here, this is how it's represented. Basically, when it comes to a normal map, fine. So when it comes to a normal So firstly, just remember under maps, you have three kind of subcharts, which is simple map. You can name it as map or simple map, doesn't matter, the bubble map, and finally the geo map. Okay. So when it comes to the map, okay, now visualization in three of them, the complete world map will show up. Okay, if you go for the formatting under world countries. So see, when I'm explaining the difference, a few things have to be kept constant. So here, of course, I'm considering the world map has to be, you know, the complete. I mean, if I go to the formatting, basically, I'm continuing the map type. I'm considering as world countries, of course. Okay, otherwise, we won't be able to differentiate the difference. Okay, so it's a world countries map, three of them. Now, from here, what is the difference? Now, basically, when it comes to the map chart, we have the locations, the color. Okay, when it comes to the bubble map, we actually have the bubble size and bubble color. So here, basically through colors, like from lighter to darker, you will be able to identify like whichever thing you give. Like if you go for count of those sum of amount or average of amount. So whatever dimension you want to know, whether the count of those or other things related to amount, you will be able to identify that with the help of the color range, as you can see from lighter to dark. Now, when it comes to bubble, you can actually identify by as the name suggests, you can identify by the color of bubble as well as the size of bubble. So what you can do is you can, like, of course, you can go for same measures, but in that it doesn't make sense. You can have two different measures for bubble size and bubble color respectively, and you can actually identify with the size of the bubble and as well as with the color of the bubble, what is the difference. So for example, if you're going for the sum of only the bubble size, you can actually identify. As you can see, like I can definitely say that in United States and in Canada, the sum of amount is definitely maximum because the size is quite huge compared to others. Okay. Now to deep down, what is exactly the number that we have to actually hover into that and check it. But with the help of comparison, we can actually find out where it is the larger, where it's the largest in terms of sum of amount, as well as with the color. Like for example, I can definitely see that this is a much deeper side. So, if I see over here, basically the average of amount is 953,256, and here it is 699. So basically, as you can see, this is deeper. So when it comes to Taiwan, the average of amount is much more. Okay, that's what it is because it is much deeper over here. I can see that. Right now, if needed, you can actually increase the bubble size. That is fine. Like here, you can have that option of increasing the bubble ratio if you want. Like if you go, you can go for 7 as well to ensure you can like they see it much more visible. But anyways, that's not a big deal. That is fine. Now, when it comes to geo map, if you see here also we have the bubble size and bubble color, but what matters is basically you need to positively give the latitude and longitude. Okay. Now, definitely here, basically, I understand there will be a very common misconception among you all that why should I go for geo map? Because, I am having to create that extra latitude and longitude, right? That particular question will definitely come to your mind. Now, this is something which I haven't explained over here. I have taken three countries, but the thing is that if you want to go for some specific region, for example, in India, for example, in India, you have certain airport location, like you have airport location in Bangalore, you have airport location in Kolkata, you have airport location in Hyderabad, okay, you have airport location in Chennai, you have airport location in Delhi. Now, in all these regions, if there are airport locations, and if I want to specifically see for those location, I can actually do that by giving the specific latitude and longitude. Here, I've given in terms of countries because that's how I wanted to differentiate. That's what I've done in previous charts. But actually, in a particular country, if you want to go for specific region, that is also something you can do. Maybe I can cover in one of the sessions how that can be done. Okay, so that's one advantage of GeoMap. Don't think it's a disadvantage. Don't think you are doing an extra hard work. Yeah, if you want to represent the world countries, if you want to show in terms of countries, definitely it may not make sense to additionally go for latitude and longitude. But when there's a specific sub-region or states you are showing for a particular country, then geomap is definitely helpful. But anyways, for now, we can understand that when it comes to geomap, you basically, other than this location, bubble size, bubble color, you have to give one extra part, which is the latitude and longitude, which by after which, you can easily locate those points. Okay. Here it will be in terms of bubbles and all. Here also in terms of bubbles, you can go for size as well as the color of the bubble. Okay. Now that's one thing. And if you just go to the formatting, I don't think the formatting, I think it's all same. So you have the map type, you have the auto zoom, you have the projection type. Okay. And here also, like if I go, fine. Yeah, you will have something extra. You have the map type, auto zoom and projection type, but you will have something extra, which is the maximum bubble ratio. And when it comes to the geo map, you will actually have something called as the this one as well, okay, which is the maximum bubble ratio. That is, so basically, if you see, there are just uh, two ways to differentiate it. Okay, so firstly, definitely the thing is that when it comes to a simple map chart, you just need to give the color. Okay, you just need to give the color because location will be constant in three of them. You just need to give the color when it comes to simple map. When it comes to bubble map, you will have to give the bubble size and bubble color to show up. Okay, and when it comes to the geo map, basically you have to show up the latitude and longitude along with the bubble size and bubble color. That is definitely the first point of difference. The second point of difference is that definitely here, like you can only check out the difference by noticing the colors. But when it comes to geomap and bubble map, as the name suggests, like there you can actually identify by the size of the bubble as well as the color of the bubble. In that way, you can actually figure out two dimension. You can compare two dimensions. In map chart, you cannot compare two dimensions at one go. You can only compare one, like either it can be count of a sum of amount or average of amount. Okay, but that's not the case in terms of bubble map and geomap. That is the second point of view. Third point of difference, definitely, and the formatting options, other than the three formatting options like similarities, you can always note down. The difference is that you have something called as maximum bubble ratio in bubble map and geomap. Okay. So yeah, these are the main things we need to consider, we need to check out. And that's the thing about here. Now, one more thing is definitely which we can walk through is like what's the minimum requirement. I think that is something I didn't copy it as well. Okay. So three difference we already walked through. Now what I can do is like very quickly if I open this one and if I just go for the map. Now here if you see this is the minimum requirement to display the map. You need one field for location and one field for color. Okay, so maybe I am not sure if I've noted it down ever in my notepad. Maybe I can just check out very quickly as well. Yeah, so for map you need one field for location, one field, that is something I noted out. And we will very quickly check for the bubble map. Okay, so for bubble map, you need all this. Okay, so let me just very quickly display it over there. Fine. And finally, you will have the geo map. And we can actually display it over there in my notepad. So as you can see here for map, you need one field for location, one field for color. Okay, that's the compulsory one for location and color. Location is like compulsory in all of them. Let's go through in this. So that location will definitely be because it is map. You are identifying the location because you're showing the world map over there. Okay, and you need one field for color, which is fine. You need at least one field for bubble color. For bubble color, you need one field. Bubble size is not compulsory. Okay, so even if you skip the bubble size, that also won't matter. But we definitely want to utilize. That's what we did. So here, like for example, if you don't have the bubble size, that won't matter. Okay, still it will show up. Okay, similarly here also. Here also, if you don't have the bubble size, that doesn't matter. It will still show up. Okay, that's the thing. So one field for location and basically one field for bubble color, that is requirement. And here you need one field for location, two fields. So you need latitude and longitude as well, and one field. So geomap, if you see, is similar to bubble map. It's just that you need extra two fields for latitude and longitude compulsory, and that's what it makes sense for, right? That's the thing about this one. Okay. So yeah, that's all about this one. Fine. I will not save this. I will just revert back to that bubble size, which is fine. And here also the same thing. Okay. So yeah, just to give you a complete quick recap, because I know I've been repeating this, but again, this is very much necessary. So firstly, of course, you have to remember this part, like other than the locations in three of the subjects, you need definitely the colors in simple map, okay, and you need the bubble colors in bubble map, and you definitely need the bubble colors in geomap as well as along with that the latitude and longitude as well. Okay. The second point of difference is like here you can identify with the help of colors only, but in the other two you can identify with the help of colors as well as the size of the bubble. And here actually you can only like do the comparison of one particular measure, but when it comes to bubble map and geomap, you can actually do comparisons of two measures, okay, which I have shown. Third point of difference is like you have this in the formatting of bubble map and geomap, you have this maximum bubble ratio over there. Okay, that's the third point of difference. You can definitely note it down. Okay, so yeah, these are more or less the same. And additionally, one more thing is like when it comes to geomap, you can actually show specific regions if you give the latitude and longitude. Okay, so yeah, that's the thing. Like the fourth point of difference is you have to specifically give the latitude and longitude on the data layer. Fine. So for all the countries, you have to give the latitude and longitude. Otherwise, definitely it will disrupt. So for example, here I've given actually the latitude and longitude of these three countries. Now, if I just remove the filters, okay, now just observe this. If I remove the filter, it may not give me the appropriate ones. Okay. Currently, you can still see it, which is fine. Okay. But if you see, like, see what happened now. For example, in GeoMap, if I remove that filter, okay, see here now is specifically showing me. If I point over, it's showing me India, right? Billing country, sum of amount. Okay. Now, if I remove the filter, for example, if I remove this filter from here, okay, you see this got disrupted. For example, here, if I go, it's showing me India, which is fine. But now if I hover over here, okay, it is showing me Denmark, as well as it's showing me Canada. Okay. So as you can see here, like we all know that Canada is actually over here, if you see, isn't it? But why it's Canada is actually showing me in this region? You see the Denmark, the Canada, Denmark, and what else? Japan. Okay. So Canada, Denmark, Japan, like all the things got concentrated in one particular region. Okay, now that is something which will be difficult. So this is not the case. Like other three are fine for USA and getting it fine, for India and getting it fine, and for Brazil also I'm getting it fine because I've added that particular thing specifically. But when it comes to other countries, if you see, that just got randomly concentrated in one region. So that's the thing. Here you have to be very careful that you give the latitude and longitude of all the regions, or like whatever specific regions you want to specify, that has to be given so that the representation come properly. As you can see, this got disrupted because if you see my previous video on the data layer, I've given only the latitude and longitude for this three countries specifically. Okay. So yeah, that's it about this video. I hope you enjoyed it. And yeah, some of the things how we can calculate the latitude and longitude, I hope that also is very simple. You have to take care of the positive and negative. And yeah, that's it about this one. I hope you enjoyed this difference. And yeah, in the from the next video, we will actually go to the next day chart type, which is the pipelines. Okay. So yeah, thank you.